The internet thinks you're an idiot. They're showing you death ray guns, perpetual heaters, and life hacks that burn down apartments. Today, we're switching on full pedantic mode and breaking down the facts, where you're getting scammed, and where you're actually going to torch your house. Let's go. First genius decided to destroy the entire defense industry by building an annihilator cannon from garbage. Microwave magnetron, spark plug, little motor. Looks almost like a Fallout weapon. Respect. Powers the whole thing with two 18650 batteries. Straw catches fire on camera, but holy crap, physics wasn't even invited to this party. Watch the screen carefully. This is the moment of pure technical suicide. Snap! The guy cuts the RF chokes with wire cutters. What the hell are you doing? That's the filament circuit. For a magnetron to work, instead of just sitting there like a paperweight, you need two things. One, heat the cathode to red hot. Thermionic emission. Ever heard of it? And you just cut its umbilical cord. Two, apply 4,000 volts to the anode so electrons actually fly. This genius applied 8 volts to a cold tube. That's like cutting the fuel line on a car, dumping a cup of water in the tank, and slapping a turbo sticker on the hood. It's not gonna run no matter how hard you believe. But wait, there's more. Pure cargo cult. Spark plug. Here, it's working as a nail. To get a spark, it needs 15,000 volts, not 8. Laser. This is a cheap diode that couldn't even warm up a fly, let alone ignite straw. Now, watch closely. Smoke is coming from the back of the haystack, while our hero waves his disposable junk at the front. Plus, he waved his hand in front of the cannon. You got played like a fiddle. Bottom line, they're slinging pure bullshit. What's the craziest fake you've seen online? Drop it in the comments. Let's laugh together. Next up, reviving a dead-as-hell battery. The guy decided to give his tool a second life by replacing the lithium cells in a drill battery with copper tubes filled with salt water. High-tech lithium versus grandpa's salt battery. Result? Makita impact wrench cranks bolts at full power. Everything works. Or does it? Let's break this down. The galvanic cell idea works in theory, but the devil's in the numbers. One salt cell puts out maybe 0.5 to 0.7 volts unloaded. 6 cells in series, that's 3 to 4 volts best case. The impact wrench needs minimum 14 to 15 volts just to wake up the electronics and 20 to 30 amps under load. Main problem? Internal resistance. Salt batteries have massive resistance. They'll barely light an LED. Try to run a motor and the voltage instantly collapses to 0. Trying to power an impact wrench with this is like filling a fire truck from an eyedropper. By the way, pouring shared electrolyte into the housing creates a liquid shunt between cells. Current flows between the tubes through the water instead of to the motor. The battery drains itself in minutes. Logic has left the building. And corrosion. Salt water plus copper plus electric current equals contacts rotting instantly. Total pipe dream. If you need to restore a battery, buy new 18650 cells or a ready-made pack on AliExpress. Don't waste time on salt fantasies. Moving on. 2 fakes in a row. This next DIY actually works. Question is, why the hell would you? The guy moved the pedals to a handlebars. Chain now drives the front wheel. Bike steers and moves with your hands. Why is this solution complete trash? 1. To effectively push pedals with your legs, you need the handlebars as a brace. Here, the handlebars run away from your hands. You'll flop around in the saddle like a sack of potatoes. Every power stroke with your hand creates torque that turns the wheel. Push with your right hand, bike yanks left. You'll ride in zigzags, burning energy fighting the handlebars instead of moving forward. If the chain slips and locks the front wheel, you're flying over the bars face first into a spinning chain ring. Enjoy! Dentists are expensive. Physically possible, but riding this thing is torture. Express ticket to the ER. Would you ride this? Let me know. Spin the wheel! Get ready for the most brazen violation of physics laws. The guy built a flow-through water heater from a washing machine motor, pipes, and a solar panel. Supposedly induction heating. Tap water allegedly heats to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Thermodynamics and electrodynamics just jumped out the window holding hands. Look at this. The guy claims the solar panel powers coils and eddy currents heat the pipe. Solar panels produce direct current. Induction needs alternating current at high frequency. This is basically just a magnet heating jack squat. Plus, he wrapped everything in aluminum tape. Even if there was induction, aluminum would shield everything. The pipe would stay ice cold. Plus, energy balance. To heat flowing water, you need kilowatts of power, minimum 3 to 5 kilowatts. That solar panel in frame? Maybe 30 to 50 watts on a good day. Energy deficit of 100x. You couldn't even heat a cup of tea with this in an hour. Next author decided to break the law, turned an impact wrench stator into a free energy grabber from power lines. Hook onto the wires and the bulb lights up. Why is this garbage? Transformers only work with closed magnetic cores. Here we've got a U-shaped hook, an open circuit. Magnetic resistance of air is enormous. Efficiency of this energy transfer approaches zero. To light a 220-volt bulb this way, you'd need, well, you're not lighting it. The bulb's lit from a hidden battery. But getting an arc to the eyes or electric shock trying to toss this hook on the high-voltage lines, that's easy. Not to mention it's theft. Don't try this. And finally, the only DIY that actually works, but might burn down your house. The guy jump-starts a dead drill battery with a laptop power supply, connects directly to the power terminals, bypassing BMS protection. After 20 minutes, the original charger sees the battery again. There's a critical detail the author doesn't mention. Laptop power supplies put out about 19 volts. If you have an 18-volt battery, the scheme works. But if you stick 19 volts into a 12-volt or 14-volt battery, that's guaranteed overcharge, overheating, and thermal runaway. Lithium can ignite right on your desk. The laptop supply will dump everything it can into the dead battery. This kills the chemistry. Yes, this can wake up a zombie, but capacity will drop and dendrites can grow inside, crystals that pierce the insulator and cause a fire a week later while you're sleeping. The method only works as a last resort for 18-volt batteries and only for 5 to 10 minutes under supervision. If you have a 12-volt drill, never do this with a laptop brick. Bottom line, 4 fakes, 1 absurdity, 1 working method with fire risk. Physics always wins, you know what I'm saying? Hit that like if you don't fall for this crap. Write in the comments and our Telegram what DIYs to test next. Subscribe so you don't miss the next dose of garage magic. Keep your hands and heads safe.